Your character really stood out to me in that she doesn't really reflect any kind of particular noir archetypes. So I was wondering, how did you kind of, I suppose, sort of approach that, playing this not quite a noir character within the noir film?
Yeah, well, I always think you can't really play a genre. The genre, you know, you have to be grounded and real, and then the world, you know, hopefully is built around you. And one of the things that I loved about Laura is exactly that. She's not your classic femme fatale. She's not a 50s housewife. She's a layered, multifaceted human being. And, you know, we don't often see that very often in female characters, and certainly female characters of colour in the 50s. So I just try to bring as many emotional nuances to her as possible.
I assume that's like quite a big part of what drew you to the role in the first place.
Absolutely, and of course Edward Norton, our fearless leader and writer, director, and lead actor, and you know, he is obviously, you know, such an accomplished actor, and knowing that he's been wanting to make this for a long time, I knew that it would be a quality project, and this phenomenal cast as well. And also I love New York, and in many ways this film feels like a love letter to New York City, and so to be able to be part of something so classic and on such a grand scale, but also that has something to say, was really a great opportunity.
So since you mentioned Edward then, would you ever be interested in sort of, you know, writing and directing and starring in your own film the same way?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could do them all at the same time. I think, you know, I'm just trying to master the acting thing at the moment. You know, I'd be interested in directing or producing, but I don't think I could direct myself. I think that would be too challenging for me.
Just kind of finally then, what would you sort of most want someone to take away from Motherless, Brooklyn?
Well, I hope people feel transported by it. You know, for me, being on the set, it really was a bit like time travel because of all the detail that everybody went into, you know, from the period. And just the cinematography, everything is so sweeping and textured, and the music as well. And also, you know, it's really the story of an underdog, you know, this detective with Tourette Syndrome who actually, you know, ends up triumphing. And, you know, similarly with my character, who, you know, two characters often overlooked by society, kind of actually, you know, making their way in the world. So I hope people will be inspired by that.
Yeah, I thought it was nice that, like, it wasn't particularly cynical, was it? Like that.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, my character is sort of unlike, you know, your typical femme fatale character that you see in the noir genre, who's a negative influence on the leading man. You know, she's actually a really positive force, and she inspires him and galvanizes him, and is really a figure of hope. So, you know, I think there are dark times, obviously, that we're in, and in the movie, but I think that ultimately it's a hopeful message.